So they just pop on with magnets like that. If you want an awesome Spidey costume, just like the real thing, but you're not sure if you need a face shell with magnetic lenses, then no problem. In this video, I'm going to explain the ups and downs of using a face shell with your Spider-Man costume. And I'll discuss how the face shell and lenses work together. I'll also mention some of the good retailers and makers of these products, and I'm going to discuss whether you even need to use one or not with your Spider-Man costume. The face shell is generally a really cool cosplay accessory, and if you want to create the definitive look of a particular Spider-Man, it may be useful. Here is my Todd McFarlane shell, and it's made by a maker from the UK called John Donaldson. The face shells go on over the fabric of your costume, and then the lenses attach afterwards with magnets. This one has really big magnets, so it sticks really well. I've never had these lenses fall off when I do parkour or acrobatic moves, which is a big plus. Using a face shell is, of course, one more thing to worry about with your cosplay, and there can be some drawbacks to using one. This is the first ever shoot I did with a red and blue Spider-Man cosplay. I'm wearing a suit pattern by Gunhead Design that was printed and assembled by Zentai Zone. Right here, I'm using the Zentai Zone Civil War face shell and Civil War lenses. One cool thing about the Zentai Zone face shell is I could use multiple different lenses with the face shell. Having said that, when I first put this costume on, I got a big shock. The eye holes are pretty small, and the lenses aren't perforated, meaning they don't have any holes in them, so they do fog up. And because the eye holes were so small, my vision was super limited. In fact, I almost couldn't see at all. I literally couldn't see where I was jumping or where I was landing, which is a real harsh reality when you're doing a Spider-Man cosplay. So I had a lot of difficulty in this costume, and I had to be kind of chaperoned around just to find some places to take some cool pictures. I wore this costume again in Thailand, and it was super hot at the convention, so there was a lot of condensation on the lenses, and I was totally blind. I couldn't see a thing. So that's when I decided that I needed a different solution for my Spider-Man cosplay. I knew there had to be some way you could get great lenses with good vision and be able to do acrobatics and all the kind of Spider-Man stunts that you would need to do. And I still wanted to have that amazing look that the Zentai Zone face shell and lenses had given me. So I wasn't quite sure what to do, and I did a little research into finding a face shell and lenses with great vision. This is what I found. This is the first fog-free face shell I ever got. Like I said, it's from John Donaldson, and it's styled after the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, but he does all different kinds of face shells and lenses. He's an amazing maker. And as you can see, if you look closely, I'm just going to hold that up. It's perforated plastic, meaning there's little tiny holes in the lenses. And because of that, it has a great airflow, and the lenses don't fog up. Now, if you choose to wear regular lenses on a suit without a face shell, it won't fog as much, because when you wear the face shell, it actually creates an atmosphere underneath where when you're breathing, a lot of the condensation from your breath goes onto the lenses. Versus if you just have your lenses attached to the fabric and you're not wearing a hard face shell, then you're breathing through the fabric and there's not much connection between the little pod the lenses make and your actual breath. So the only condensation that you're gonna get from that is coming from, I guess, just like your skin breathing and your sweat. But you can do a pretty good solution on regular style lenses. That's to say, like, if you don't have perforated lenses with little tiny holes in them, you can make a fog-free solution just by taking some soapy liquid and rubbing it on the lenses, and then when that dries off, they're pretty well fog-free. But you may really want to have really good vision. It's really strong. The magnets are really strong. The Zentai Zone face shell is cool, but sometimes when I do a big leap, the magnets would fall off because they weren't very powerful. These magnets are super powerful. The eye holes are really big, as you can see, because the McFarlane style lenses are really wide, and that allowed me to cut a bigger hole in the mask, giving me like way better vision. That really helped a lot. I have another Faceshell and lens combo from John Donaldson. I'm just going to show you that now. Here it is. It's my Homecoming Infinity War style Faceshell and lenses from John Donaldson, but you know, it's super awesome, but I really have to say, it doesn't have quite as good vision. The Faceshell is really cool and it may lend the look of the Spider-Man art to your face, which you might not get if you don't use the Faceshell, because it's just conforming to your face and, you know, it's gonna look like your face, which is fine. And sometimes that's the look portrayed in the Spider-Man art too, and also in the comic books and the cartoons and the movies, Spider-Man doesn't use a Faceshell. So if you want that authentic Spider-Man feeling, definitely go for lenses just attached to the fabric, and it's easier and you don't have to deal with the Faceshell. I actually got a Homecoming suit from Zentai Zone recently and I did a full review of it on my channel. You can go check it out. And for that suit, I specifically requested attached lenses just to see what it would be like, and I have to say, I loved it. It was so fun, it was so convenient to go to the park and, you know, do fun stuff as Spider-Man in it, and I could just pop the hood off and the lenses were attached there and slip it back on whenever I wanted, and that gave me that, like, you know, authentic Spider-Man feel. So that was really cool, and unlike when I'm shooting my fan film or doing an appearance, I didn't have to like really mess around with the plastic face shell and then hook the lenses to it and then put my mask on. I could just pop my mask on and go. So that's awesome. There's a lot to be said for that. And even though these weren't perforated lenses, they didn't fog up much because they weren't in the atmosphere of the face shell. So after that, I got another suit from Amped Up Cosplay, who you should check out on Instagram, because they take suits that have been completed, like spandex suits, like Spider-Man suits and hero suits, and add additional things to them, like dragon skin silicone or installing footwear or just puff painting features on them. And Amped Up Cosplay does amazing work. You can see my review of the suit I have and you can check them out on Instagram, so be sure to do that. That suit did have attached lenses, and that's another suit that I really enjoyed. I really liked having the lenses attached, and they're mirrored lenses, so they're not perforated, there's no airflow, but they don't fog up much. I can wear them for like a good hour unless I'm in a really muggy environment, and they don't fog up because they're not taking any of my breath. I just want to mention too that there's other really good makers of face shells, so if you can't get in touch with John Donaldson but you want the Todd McFarlane style or the fog-free style, there is another really good maker. Irwan Wiardinata is a maker who makes amazing stuff. I haven't had the opportunity yet to use one of his face shells or his lenses, but he makes like Power Ranger helmets and fog-free lenses and just all this amazing stuff. I want to get some 2099 style Spider-Man face shell and lenses from him, so I'll do a review of his lenses and face shell when I get that product on the go. Another maker who makes really good lenses is T-Jack, and I haven't had the opportunity to sample any of his stuff, but I've seen it out there in cosplay pictures and it's amazing. And there's also another maker I want to give a shout out to from Hong Kong. When I was living in China last year, and I'm moving back to China by the way, but when I was living in China last year, I had the opportunity to go to Hong Kong and go to a few conventions, and I met an amazing Spider-Man cosplayer called Kevin Lam, who runs a site called Lens Factory HK, and he is just an outstanding Spider-Man cosplayer, but on top of that, he makes mechanical lenses that can open and close and are sensitive to his jaw movements, so that's just like unbelievable. Recently, he's made a pair of light-up lenses to pair with his face shell to emulate the look of the Infinity War Spider-Man. That's basically everything you need to know about using a face shell and lenses, and if you have any questions, definitely shoot them to me in the comments bar below and I'll get back to you. So they just pop on with magnets like that. Do you need a face shell with your Spider-Man costume? No. Does the real Spider-Man use a face shell? No. But they can be really cool if you want to have the authentic look of a particular Spider-Man. Like this Todd McFarlane one here works really great for me. So you have to figure out what's going to work best for you, what's going to be functional for your purposes and your needs, and what's going to work best for the look that you want to create. Neither style is wrong, you just have to weigh out the pros and the cons. So be sure to check out my other Spidey videos. If you like nerdy things, definitely subscribe to our channel because we have lots more things coming your way.